And we are back. Power Rankings Playoff Edition. Going to be a bit of a faster video compared to the normal ones, as there is only 14 teams for us to rank this week. And this will be the final Power Rankings of the season. There will be one more that's going to be at the end of the season after all the playoffs finish. Well, I will be doing Power Rankings on Twitter. It will just be a post. I don't think there's much point doing a whole video for 8 teams, 4 teams. You get the gist. So anyway, starting us off at number 14, in my opinion, this isn't about if I think they're going to win their game or not, by the way. This is strictly like looking at the teams. This is where I'd see them. 14, we have the 8 and 9 Panthers, who are the 4 seed. Only getting in for your division. 8 and 9 wouldn't have been enough to make it into the playoffs regardless. So yeah, that's why you're down here. I'm expecting you to get honestly blown out in the first round in the nicest way possible. I mean, you did beat the Rams in the regular season, granted, but I just don't see you lightning striking twice. So, yeah, I do think you guys are by far the worst team in the playoffs. So, I mean, if you are able to pull off an upset or something, that'd be amazing, but I just don't see it happening. At number 13, we had the Packers, 9-7-1. They are the 7 seed. I could see this team potentially making an upset on the Bears, but ultimately, past that, I don't see anything happening, really. The only reason I give them that is because they did beat them one time in the regular season. They almost beat them a second time with a backup quarterback. And, well, the Bears have not played in the playoffs, and even when they have with Ben Johnson, the last time the Lions made the playoffs, they were one and done. So, could see a potential upset here with the Packers, but ultimately after that, they're going to go to Seattle, and Seattle is a top-tier team for a reason. So I don't see anything materializing. So they could pull off the upset with the division game, but ultimately I don't think they're going to get much farther than that, if farther at all. Number 12, we had the Steelers, 10-7, getting the 4 seed. They left their way into the playoffs. They almost, ruined their season. Chris Boswell missing that extra point allowed the Ravens to kick the go-ahead field goal, except Tyler Loop missed it, which allowed the Steelers to win. They're going to be going against the Texans, a top-tier defense. Now, granted, I could see this very well being a great game with the Texans and Steelers, with the Texans' offense being so inconsistent. The Steelers, even with that, mighty defense the Texans have, could somehow win in a, 17-13 type of game. So we're not going to rule that out. I do definitely think the Steelers could win this game, especially with it being played in Pittsburgh. But as for now, not liking their odds too much. Number 11, we have the Chargers, number 7 seed, 11-6. Definitely like them. They rested their starters, so they're going to be able, maybe they were anticipating, New England the whole time. That's who they wanted, which if they did, that's smart, So I do definitely give them benefit there. My big concern there is their O-line, obviously very banged up. We'll see if Justin Herbert is able to, survive against top-tier teams with that. Obviously, did not play against the Broncos. They only put up a field goal. But yeah, I do like the Chargers a lot. This is kind of the first team where it's like, okay, I could see any of the teams, above or below winning the Super Bowl. Well, not below, like Chargers and up. This is like the first team I like, oh, there's a realistic path for them to the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Now, number 10, we have the 49ers, who are 12-5. They are the 6th seed. They just got a very unfortunate matchup against the Eagles. I feel like most teams would have rather play the Bears. The only reason I say that is because the Eagles obviously won the Super Bowl last year. They're coming off of that, and they are pretty healthy, plus rested starters. So, yeah, 49ers obviously would have loved to win against Seattle, get the 1 seed, get home field advantage for the whole playoffs, because the Super Bowl is being played in, Santa Clara, where the 49ers do play. So it would have been really nice. Unfortunately, they don't win against the Seahawks. They actually looked like a really iffy football team, which is why I am very concerned for them against this Eagles team. I definitely could see them doing the upset, though. They have been a very good team when they are in the playoffs. They consistently either miss the playoffs or make the championship game or better. So we'll see if the streak continues. They made the playoffs. How far are they going to go? At number 9, we got the Bears, 11-6, the 2 seed. I definitely do like this Bears team. Their offense is ferocious. Their defense can play really well at times. They did struggle against Detroit, which does give me some concern. Maybe they just saw, Philly was struggling against the Commanders, like, oh, we can definitely try, but we don't have to, pedal to the metal. We can just kind of coast. But they do end up losing by a field goal, 19-16. My concern, like I mentioned before, is Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, their first game in the playoffs as, head coach quarterback. That's my only concern. This Bears team obviously has not made it in a few years, and even when it did, the whole team was very different. They've gone for 2 head coaches, 3 quarterbacks, something like that. Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, yeah. So I definitely could see, the Bears doing well. I actually really do like this team. They seem to fight till the end no matter what the score is. We'll just see, how they do against these teams who, have been there before, done that before. Number 8, we have the Bills, who are 12-5, the 6th seed. I really like their matchup against the Jaguars. First-year head coach, quarterback who has made the playoffs before, has won a playoff game, but it has been a few years. I want to say 3 years in 2022. So yeah, definitely do like the Bills here. The Bills always seem to do well. The only thing that kryptonites them is they always seem to lose to the team who makes the Super Bowl. You look back, they lose to Mahomes pretty much every year. There was the 1 year they lost to Burrow and the Bengals when they made it. So yeah, and those have literally been the 2 teams to represent the Super Bowl in the past 5 years. So yeah, I definitely do think there is a possibility that the Jaguars win this one, especially because I really like the Jaguars. They're honestly, if it wasn't for, their first-year head coach, I definitely would think they might be my Super Bowl favorites, honestly, in the AFC. So yeah, I do think the Bills have the potential to go all the way. It's just, if they lose, it's going to probably be to the team who makes the Super Bowl. It's the same with Green Bay. Green Bay has lost to those teams. You pretty much know who's making the Super Bowl in the NFC if Green Bay loses to them. You date back, you had the Eagles, you had the 49ers. The list goes on. You had the Buccaneers when Brady was there. It is a crazy list. You had the Seahawks in the yeah. Okay, enough rambling. Number 7, we have the Eagles. 11-6, they're the free seed. Definitely one of, if not the favorites in the NFC. Obviously, they did it last year, looking to repeat. They kept relatively the same roster as well. If not, they arguably upgraded in some positions. My big concern for them, obviously, is their offense. Kevin Patullo has been under fire since week 1. Yeah, this is not the same offense that we saw last year. This is a very different team. We'll see if they're able to flip that switch. Now this playoffs, they did rest their starters for this last game, so maybe they're prepared. Going against the 49ers. 49ers, obviously, like I said, they are a very successful playoff team, always seeming to make it pretty far. We'll see if the trend continues or not. Because one of these teams, is going to obviously win. And I do think that it's going to be a really good game. Or at least I hope. I hope all of these games are good games. It's the playoffs. No one wants a blowout. Number 6, we have the Texans, who are 12-5, representing the 5 seed. They have arguably the best matchup in the AFC. Obviously, the 4 and 5 seed always seems to be the best because for some reason the 5 seed always seems to be better than the 4 seed. It's just the automatic bid, which, in case you're saying, oh, why are you complaining about that? I actually think that's a really good format. I hope they keep it that way for, the rest of the time. Assuming, they don't expand or anything. So, yeah. I do think the Texans have probably the best matchup, going against a team who has been very consistent on offense. Obviously, with that being said, they have the best defense in the league, arguably. So, yeah, as long as this offense can, put together something, I honestly think 20 points for whoever wins out of the Steelers-Texans will be enough to win this game. Number 5, we have the Broncos, who are 14-3, representing the 1 seed. They are going to have the first-round bye, so get plenty of rest. My big concern for them, obviously, is they don't have the best sample size. They always seem to win these nail-biter games where they really struggle, no matter who they play. It could be a good team or a bad team. I don't know if their luck is going to continue in the playoffs. I don't know if you can afford to barely squeak by, So we'll see. This is probably the most confident I've been in a long time. We'll see if I'm actually right that, the 1 seed is going to get bounced in the first round. Not the first round, obviously, the second round, their first game played. So we'll see what happens with the Broncos. I'm not feeling too confident in them, but who knows? Number 4, we have the Rams, who are 12-5, representing the 5 seed. This is probably my favorite in the NFC And that's crazy because they're not even, playing a single home game, assuming, all the top seeds win. Besides them, yeah, I do think this team has the potential. This is a really good team, having Matthew Stafford in his arguable MVP year, arguably the best receiver in football, Puka Nacua. You have a dangerous defense, dangerous run game with the 1-2 punch. I mean, this just feels like, this team with, all the Asian guys like Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford, like I said, this is going to be a team who's like, this could be our final chance with this window, before these guys potentially regress and fall off a cliff. So I definitely do like this team a lot. I think they're going to fight with everything they have, knowing this is probably their best, window. Like, their window is going to be probably past them after this, season. Number 3, we have Duval, the Jaguars, 13-4, representing the 3 seed. If it wasn't for that first-year head coach, I definitely would believe this team is, going to go the distance. I really like this team. My only concern, like I said, first-year head coach, when he was the offensive coordinator in Tampa, they really struggled in the playoffs, not getting past the divisional round. So he does have playoff experience, but hasn't gone very far. So we'll see if the trend continues. He does have a really tough matchup in the Buffalo Bills, who have been pretty much the most consistent playoff team every year in the AFC. I mean, you know what they're going to do. They're going to do really well, but just not make it to the Super Bowl. We'll see if, the Jaguars are able to somehow win this one. I mean, really well. I mean, they could win, like 40-35. That would be really well for the Bills, but we'll see if the Jaguars are able to do something like that. Number 2, we had the Patriots, 14-3, representing the 2 seed. They look dominant. In my opinion, the MVP, Drake May. I'm sorry, I don't know his nickname. But, I mean, it's there. Yeah, I mean, this team looks good. You got Stephon Diggs, even in his 30s, looking like a top receiver in the league. You have a defense that has been really consistent. Obviously, they haven't played the best competition as of late, with the Dolphins and the Jets as their last 2 games. But who knows? Obviously, they're going to be going against the 7th-seeded Chargers, so they are going against a team who did rest their starters. So definitely going to have to, be on their high heels, be ready for this game. I do think they have a good path to the Super Bowl. Obviously, as the 2 seed, you're the second-best team in the AFC. We'll see, if you could do it. And number 1, the Seahawks, 14-3, get the 1 seed. I mean, they just embarrassed the 49ers, who were competing for the 1 seed. I mean, that's how, good they are. They're going to get the first-round bye. They're going to be getting that extra week, to prepare, to get, well-rested. Any injured players potentially have that chance to come back. I mean, and not to mention, this team has seriously looked like the best team in the league. My only concern is if they end up playing the Rams in the NFC. I do think the Rams and the Seahawks are going to be a very fun matchup. The Seahawks actually have struggled against the Rams mightily the past 2 times, even though they split the series 1-1. With the Rams knowing the severity, I don't think they'll make that mistake if the Seahawks struggle won't let them get back in that game. So with that being said, I think the Rams are the Seahawks, only trouble. But for now, they're the 1 seed for now. Obviously don't know if they're going to end up playing Seattle or LA. So that's my list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. I know it's unusual for this to come out on a Monday, but very busy with work. This is my final week of work. Well, not final week of work, but of busy hours for the year. So should definitely calm down after this. So, yeah. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time with predictions. With Try to Win predictions, if you don't know, I predict every single game. I don't just predict, the wild card and stuff and do on next week. The final predictions is going to be me predicting the whole entire playoffs from wild card all the way to Super Bowl. So, yeah, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.